Venga por mí. No se tarde en llegar, cobarde.
I'm gonna come.
Well, it was a great week for ExxonMobil. Yeah, let's get oily, huh? Let's get oily. It's crazy. Just at the end of last week, I paid my taxes for last year. Like, I sent it in to the IRS. The next day, our government captures Maduro, and I'm like, I wasn't paying for that. Like, what? I never seen my tax dollars in action that fast. I was like, that's all it took? $3K? Like, yeah. So Maduro got kidnapped. I don't know what your tax dollars did with their weekend, but that's what mine did. And listen, before, not everything has to be gloomy. Let's look at the positives first, okay? I'm so optimistic, right? Let's look at the positives first, okay? Maduro was bad to a lot of people. He had his time coming, okay? A lot of people from Venezuela are very happy, okay? And also, Marco Rubio can finally reach orgasm. So Maduro's time came and so did Rubio. So, still didn't need his wife, right? It's a f***ed up thing, watching our country go into another country and just straight, take their leader, But like, don't you think, somewhere deep in hell, Dick Cheney's like, you're like, still got it, even from down here. Sorry, that was a dick joke. I'm usually pretty clean. Just last week, Maduro released a video. He's like, come and get me, man. Come right here. I'm right here. Come and get me. Then the next day, he's like, all right, they got me. It was just like it was so fast. It was so fast. He literally did fuck around to find out. I'm just quoting the philosopher Pete Hegseth. In a literal statement he made. But yeah, no, they straight took Maduro. And here's the thing about Maduro. Maduro was not great to a lot of people, okay? He did try to work with the United States, despite what the narrative says. He did say, hey, I'll give you guys some oil. I'll give you guys some gold. What do you want? He's like, take the oil, take the gold. We're like, no, we want all that shit. And so we took him. And then he's like, take my wife too. And then we took his wife. I know a decent amount of history and geopolitics, but to be honest, I do not know a lot about Maduro, okay? I really just know that he liked to dance a lot, okay? That's every video I saw of Maduro, he was just always like dancing. I was like, this guy looks like fun. Are we sure it's this guy? And you talk to Venezuelans, they're like, yeah, that guy's a f***ing asshole, but he can dance, you know what I mean? He can dance. I mean, and that's why you see all these AI videos now of him like in handcuffs, but he's still like dancing. Just because someone can dance well doesn't mean they're a great person, okay? Trump dances too, but he does his thing like this, Honestly, I don't like violence. I don't believe that things needed to be sorted through like means like this, So really, I would have appreciated if Trump and Maduro just had like a dance-off, you know what I mean? And then we're both like, all right, take them both. Take them both. And then Trump came out and bragged about it. He's like, we got Maduro, he's from Venezuela. You know what I mean? He really chooses the words he wants to pronounce. He's like, we have Venezuela. We're now gonna run Venezuela. In Caracas, he calls it Caracas. It's like, it's Caracas, dude. Or just call it crack ass with your crack ass. Venezuela. Basically saying Venezuela's ours. He's saying Venezuela's ours. He's saying the oil is ours. He's quoting the Monroe Doctrine, okay, which was a little before his time, okay? For those of you who don't know, the Monroe Doctrine basically stated that the United States has the right to, or has the duty to, I mean, we decided this, to protect the Americas, including South and Central America, from European colonialism. That's what the Monroe Doctrine meant. It meant to protect the Americas from more European colonialism, because after, the 17th, 18th century, motherfuckers be colonizing, okay? And so we're like, stop with the colonizing, and that's what the Monroe Doctrine was. It was written by Marilyn Monroe, look it up, and it was the Monroe Doctrine, okay? I know things. And so Trump comes out, he's like, yeah, we had to take Venezuela. It's in the Monroe Doctrine. Marilyn Monroe wrote it. And yeah, that's not what it is. The Monroe Doctrine is to protect the Americas from more colonization, not colonize them. He's like, the Monroe Doctrine gives us the right to Venezuela and Colombia and Greenland. Like, that's not even, man. It's crazy that he thought this is something we would like. He's like, we just got Maduro, pretty cool, huh? This is pretty cool. It's like, no, it's pretty coup. That's what it is, okay? It's a coup d'etat, right? He's like, yeah, this is what you wanted. Yeah, you wanted. We got Maduro. This is what you wanted. You wanted us to get Maduro, right? It's like, no, we want you to get Bibi, motherfucker. That's the one we want you to get. Maybe your ears are too filled with redactions from the Epstein files, but we want you to get Bibi, Netanyahu, okay? All that said, a lot of people are very happy about this, okay? You can't deny that a lot of Venezuelan people are genuinely happy about the fall of Maduro. And I'm urging Americans, please, I'm urging you, don't tell Venezuelans how to feel, okay? Please, just don't. I don't give a if you know more than them, okay? Just because we're American, right? I don't give a if you think you know more than them. The reason why we're upset with the way this happened is because we don't want to be dictating what other countries do. So don't do it yourself. You know what I mean? Don't tell them how to feel, okay? Listen to what they have to say at this time, you know, because I have a lot of liberal and progressive friends who are just like, no, you know, like Maduro was a good guy. It's like, you don't know that, okay? Don't judge a man by his dance moves only, okay? You know, my liberal friends like over-pronouncing his name. But Nicolas Maduro was such a great guy for Venezuela. Nicolas Maduro is my boy. It's like, no, you don't really know him, okay? And people are saying, listen to Venezuelans, and some people are saying, yeah, but which Venezuelans? Yes, okay, we can look at which Venezuelans happen to be swaying, you know, one way or the other, but it's not unanimous, okay? The fact of the matter is 60% of the Venezuelans who now live in the United States are happy that Maduro fell, okay? Which makes sense, because they left. They probably didn't like him in the first place. Maybe they had family members who had issues with the whole regime, so it makes sense. Still only 60%, meaning there's still 40% who are like, you could have stayed, you know? So there's that, okay? But if you look at Venezuela, this is the information that I think most people need to know. 30% of people in Venezuela were actually for Maduro falling, okay? That's a lot of people, and yet, honestly, if you go around America, which I have, based on vibes alone, I'd say about 60% of America would be totally fine with Trump going. You know what I mean? Right? And obviously, probably like 95% in this room, maybe 99, I don't know. I don't check before you guys come in, but probably 60% of Americans would be totally fine with Trump going. And so can you imagine if in the middle of the night, Putin came, brought his old KGB homies back, and they went and they took Trump. They're like, Melania, you can stay. And they took Trump and just straight took him to Moscow. If that happened, you have to be honest. If you saw the warplanes come in, bomb Mar-a-Lago a little bit, and then just take Trump in his boxers in the middle of the night, walking, you know, but you see these explosions, and you did learn that, you know, people were killed and injured. The next day, you'd be a little shocked. You'd be like, I didn't know other countries could do that to us, you know? You'd be a little shocked. You'd be a little scared. Be like, if they can do that to him, who can they do that to? Okay? But you'd also look at it and be like, huh. You know, you would, you know, like, you wouldn't be like, oh, you'd be like, well, let's move on. It's Tuesday. Business as usual. You know? You think you saw Venezuelans celebrate Maduro fall? Can you imagine what the streets would look like after the orange guy goes? Yeah, I mean, we paint those streets orange as dude. You'd be like, in his memory. And I'm sure me saying this feels up to like, how dare you suggest somebody come and kidnap the president of the United States? That's so evil. That's what I'm saying. It shouldn't be done to anybody. That's what we're saying. You follow international law. Follow international law. Follow the laws of the international. We don't all have to act like Israel, guys. Okay? So my thing with Venezuela is, my thing for the Venezuelans is, okay, Venezuelans, I just want two things. I want nothing but the best outcome for your country, Venezuela. I want nothing but the best outcome for your beautiful country, Venezuela. That's number one. And number two, I want my country to have nothing to do with it. Okay, that's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. You know, and I get it. You know, some people might be like, well, sometimes countries got to help each other out, and that's great. That's great. Let's all be friends. Fantastic. I'm all for friendship. Okay? If we are in the position to help another country, and then we help that country, we do something legitimately good for them, and then we help them get on their feet, maybe give them a phone call once a year, check in, like, hey, how's it going? That's great. That's what a friend does. Okay? Because a friend helps another friend, expecting nothing in return, okay? We ain't doing this shit for free, baby. We want that oil. We ain't doing this shit for free. Okay? We got oily intentions. We got real oily intentions, okay? That's all I'm saying, that, you know, Venezuela, we want the best for you, but also, as voters in America, we didn't vote for this shit. We didn't vote for this shit. Okay? And then Venezuelans are like, yeah, we didn't vote for Maduro either. Okay, touche. 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 So we reached some understanding. That's cool. But no, I have a lot of Venezuelan friends. I called all my Venezuelan friends, and I called them. I said, I'm here for you. You know, I hope your family's okay. Whatever you need, I got you. I want to listen to you. Tell me how it's going. Whatever you're feeling, that's valid, and I'm just here to listen and be supportive of you. Yeah. Also, you can call me Dad. Are you okay with calling me Dad? Is that okay? Like, since, you know, it's kind of how it is now. Thank you guys for taking that well. The rest of you are like, this is not cool. So yes, I wish nothing but the best for Venezuelans. However you feel is valid. I know nothing. I don't live there. And so whatever you feel is more important than how I feel as an American. At the same time, okay, we can't help but remember Iraq, okay? Someone's alarm is going off at the perfect time because it was like, Iraq, ding ding ding, 2003 is calling, ding 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 ding, it's Iraq. Saddam, pick up, Saddam. Can you pick up Saddam? And so, yes, anybody with a decent memory cannot, you know, help forget Iraq or any of the other 100 countries that we've done this to. Yes, while we're happy watching people legitimately rejoice, we're also worried about what potentially happens next, as it did in Iraq. And so, you know, we hope for the best. Don't project anything negative, okay? But a lot of us are just scared, waiting to see what Venezuela ISIS looks like. And I know you're like, how could ISIS get to Venezuela? Israel's so far from it. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. They'll find a way. Genuinely, I don't think ISIS would form in Venezuela. Because first of all, ISIS, I do believe they were created by Israel. I believe that ISIS was a CIA, Mossad, PSYOP, where they just found like the broiest of bros. They just like, you know, skimmed Andrew Tate's following and gave them all black suits. And we're just like, you guys, here's some guns, talk shit about women all day. That's all ISIS was. It was just a bunch of bitter dudes who held women down all day. And I just don't think that could happen in Venezuela because Latino women, yeah, I mean, I don't think y'all gonna let that shit happen. Can you imagine day one of Venezuela ISIS? No, you come back home 6 o'clock. We're concerned about that because we know what our country wants, okay? We want the 300 billion barrels of oil lying underneath Venezuela. It's 300 billion barrels. And we're trying to act right now, oh, we'll just be there for like a year. Oh, you're gonna get 300 billion barrels in a year? What are you gonna do, a billion a day? You can do a billion a day with a few days off here and there? That's impossible. To get 300 billion barrels of oil, we're gonna have to be there for 300 billion years, okay? It's a lot of, I don't know a lot about oil extraction, but listen, it's gonna be some time. But they don't just have oil, they have gold. They have a ton of gold. They have oil and gold. Basically, Diddy's two main accessories. They have, everywhere you went, this gold chain, Johnson & Johnson. Just oil and gold, baby, oil and gold. And a ton of minerals too, man. And Venezuela is loaded with natural resources. Some of the highest valued natural resources in the world. So it's almost surprising that it took us this long to swoop in. But that's just, the CIA has its timing, The CIA is like a creepy guy who stays in the friend zone. Just waiting for that right day. Just like, she's about to go through this breakup, watch. She's gonna trust her trusted friend, Stan. Except the only difference is in this case, the guy in the friend zone actually orchestrates and carries out the breakup. This is just how it is, just another day in our oligarchy, okay? Yeah, that's cute. End of the day, this is about American imperialism, okay? It's about imperialism. You need to learn the word imperialism because it's everything that's wrong with America, okay? Aside from, a lot of our food, okay? But imperialism is a problem, and that's what this is, Yes, some people might see it as liberation, but it is imperialism because first they take Venezuela, right? That's just imperialism. Then they take Colombia. That's imperialism squared. Then they take the island above it. It's imperialism cubed. Okay, come on. So it's just mathematics, guys. But of course, they say it's about the drugs. They say it's about the drugs. And listen, if you really do the research, the consensus is Venezuela does have a problem with cocaine and fentanyl. However, the bulk of cocaine and fentanyl that enters the United States does not come from there. And also, there's not a lot of evidence that Maduro was actually orchestrating the drugs coming here, okay? And this is a controversial topic because a lot of Venezuelans got mad at me for suggesting that it wasn't him directly, but also talk to experts. Venezuela has issues with drugs. It has issues with narco-terrorists, I guess, if you want to use that word, but there's not substantial evidence that Maduro was actually orchestrating it himself. Maduro even said himself, he's like, why would I need to sell drugs? I got all this oil and gold. You know what I mean? Yes, Maduro was probably not a great guy to a lot of people, and a lot of people suffered under Maduro. But the part of the story that we don't hear is that Venezuela was so crippled economically because of the sanctions that the United States has been putting on them for literal decades. And so at that point, Maduro is just a guy who couldn't really do shit to help his country, and it's our fault, and it's all kind of done by design. But granted, he wasn't doing a lot to stop it, okay? He wasn't doing a lot to stop it, so fine, okay? And I get having an abundance of problematic drugs around is a problem. Even if a little bit of fentanyl comes from Venezuela to the United States, that's bad. I agree. I'm not for fentanyl. I know it's a controversial statement, okay? Yes, I am against fentanyl mainly because it ruined cocaine for good, healthy, habited people like myself who just wanted the pure stuff. I just wanted the pure stuff, the pure, organic cocaine. Okay? I don't know if you know this, but cocaine just comes from plants. It's plant-based. Vegans, come on. It comes from the coca leaf. Back in the day, they just used to chew on that shit like a koala. Just coca leaf. They used to put it in Coca-Cola. And the coca leaf, known by many ancient cultures, was used as a medicine. It was used to heal. Back in the day, it was just part of normal commerce. People would barter for it. Like, here's 2 chickens. Give me a bushel of coca. Listen, I'm making up how I saw it, But then, like any other drug, it became a business. And so the people involved in the business of making the cocaine found ways to cut corners, started to cut corners, found ways to enhance it, adding things to it to make it easier to sell and to make more profit. And that's when it became a problem. And, a lot of the things that, went into cocaine, some were more problematic than others, right? Back in the day, the problem with cocaine is that it was laced with baking soda, right? The good old days, right? but like the dealers and the traders would put baking soda in it because it would fluff it up and make it easier for them to sell so they could make more money because they would put the baking soda in it to be less potent, but it would still be the same price. You'd have to pay like an arm and a hammer for that shit. And now the problem is fentanyl. So now fentanyl is in the cocaine, and that's the problem. That's additive that can kill you. And if for a moment you think this is evil to put such things into these products, you're absolutely right. But if you also think that it's just a thing that illegal, people who work in illegal trades do, you're wrong. Because look at our food supply. That's all they do. They're just putting that kills us. Maybe not that day, but like over time. It's like microdose fentanyl, This is just normal commerce, okay? But the United States, it has stigmatized cocaine because the United States doesn't know how to make money off of it. It comes from South and Central America. There's so many people involved that we can't control, and so we just we don't know what to do with it, so we'll just let Wall Street do it, I don't know if you know, our economy is powered by cocaine on Wall Street, but it's illegal because we don't know what to do with it. Even though we have so many people who cook it here, it's just have some government-sponsored trap houses or whatever. Okay, I know this is not a popular take. I'm just saying, make cocaine organic again. That's all I'm saying. That's literally all I'm saying. Okay? And I know this is controversial to some people, but I don't think drugs are inherently wrong. I think the issue is that when you do too many drugs, when you abuse drugs, it can be harmful to your body and mind. Okay? But being a human is experiencing pain. Pain is part of the human condition. It's part of the human experience, okay? And drugs, the reason why people take drugs, and I'm talking both recreational drugs to big pharma drugs, to the illicit drugs, the reason why people take drugs is to remove the pain, okay? But drugs don't physically remove your pain. They don't go to your pain and be like, all right, you're leaving now, come on. Drugs go to your brain and make you forget that you have pain. It's like ASMR. It's like, you don't have any pain anymore. You don't have any pain anymore. That's what drugs do. They make you completely forget that you have pain. And so the lesson there, the realization you should have, is that pain really is an illusion. And so many instances, it's our mind that's tricked to believe that we are living in pain when really we have the choice to opt out of it to an extent. It takes some time, but drugs can kind of help us realize that. The problem is when we depend on the drugs to take away the pain. That's not what we should be doing. We should be realizing that we don't have pain, and every now and then you might have to do a line of cocaine to realize that. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But some drugs, I'm not advocating for all drugs, because like fentanyl is so strong, it gets rid of all the pain and you die. Like basically you're like, you want zero pain? I'll give you zero pain. And then it just kills you right there. Every kind of drug kills our pain, even if it's caffeine. Even if you take a little sip of green tea, that's tea pain. Alcohol as well. Alcohol as well is also a painkiller, but all it does is make you forget that you have pain. But I draw the line. I draw the line at fentanyl, because fentanyl literally kills people. I've lost friends to fentanyl. It's absolutely up. And so fentanyl is bad. I don't think cocaine's bad. I think cocaine's a hell of a drug. Okay, and fentanyl is a drug of hell. Okay, so. That's all it is. But anyways, that's my drug PSA. Thank you. Yeah, sure, Venezuela probably does have an issue with cocaine and fentanyl, but most of it in the United States is not coming from there, okay? But hey, I'm all for Venezuela doing whatever it wants. I want Venezuela to have whatever kind of government it wants. So now that Maduro's gone, who's going to step up? Well, apparently it's Maria Machado, Hakuna Matata. Maria Machado, she won a Nobel Peace Prize that we gave her, and she's the opposition party leader from Venezuela. And there's a lot of criticisms of Maria Machado, okay? A lot of people are criticizing her and saying all these things, but I think that she will make an amazing puppet, okay? Amazing plant. Amazing Zionist installation. Amazing fake democracy. Amazing, it's all a scam, guys. She's not a real leader. But none of my business at the same time. None of my business, okay? And maybe she says a lot of great things. Maybe she's done some things for the people of Venezuela. Maybe there's people in Venezuela who like her. But also, she's friends with Netanyahu, so her. You know what I mean? Like I don't like that says everything. That says everything that I need to know. She called Netanyahu and was like, "You're doing a great job." Like, who the does that? Aside from a total loser, am I right? But yeah, again, it's their country, it's not our country, okay? But like when you see what we're doing, when you see us just trying to take over other countries, install the leaders that we want, and try to extract their resources, this should piss us off, and we should be said, we should stop. We should let our government know we don't want this shit. We don't want you pillaging the world. We don't want that. So this should upset you. This should mobilize you. Okay, not Exxon mobilize you, but just regular mobilize you, you know? They took Maduro to New York City, which I think Trump did on purpose to test out Zoran a little bit, you know what I mean? He's like, what are you gonna do now? They took him to New York City, and everything is just so surreal because you're seeing all these AI videos of him just dancing. And then there was a photo with Maduro and an FBI agent who's like holding him captive, and Maduro's in handcuffs doing 2 thumbs up. And then you have the guy in FBI just like, and Maduro's like, did you guys see that picture? I saw that picture and I was like, is this AI? And then you look, it's not AI. We're living in the era where you have to ask if everything's AI because you see shit and you're like, there's no way this can be real. You know it's up when you think it's AI, but it's reality. You know what I mean? It's normally the other way around, where it's like, okay, this is AI. Yep, it's AI, confirmed. You know, or like, is this real? Yeah, it's AI. But there's literally a photo of Maduro standing with the FBI agents going. I saw a comment that said everything. It tells you everything you need to know. This guy, he had a blue check, he was an actor, and he was like, this looks exactly like a picture we would take between scenes on set. And I think he just genuinely meant that, like it looked like 2 actors hanging out at the studio. But it's so true, because these guys are probably just both paid actors. You know what I mean? Maduro's just kind of been there the whole time. He probably knew this shit was coming. He's probably like, all right, I'll make the shit talk video on Friday, and then you come get me on Saturday. And they worked it out, and the FBI agent, because honestly, the FBI agent was a little too good looking for an FBI agent. And Maduro's got a cute face. I don't give a what you say. I don't give a he was a brutal dictator. He's adorable. Just like out of jail dancing in his PJs, like for sure a paid actor, dude. Just like, yeah, are they getting SAG rate or what? I don't know. They took Maduro to jail, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be the last we're seeing of Maduro. I don't think he's going to be in jail forever. Because they're taking him to the same jail as Luigi. For the record, we're not asking Maduro to be released. We're clapping for Luigi here. But they took him to the same prison as Luigi and Diddy. That's the weirdest trio that nobody saw coming in their 2026 bingo card, that's for sure. Luigi, P. Diddy, and Nicolas Maduro. Nobody saw that coming. And Samuel Bankman-Fried's there. The guy with the whole FTX scandal. It's some heavy hitters in that jail, dude. Yeah. El Chapo's in there too, dude. The whole band is back. So, first of all, I don't know why the they're doing that, especially with the whole Epstein thing. Security guards be falling asleep, you know what I mean? So, that would be the prison break of the century, right? Think about it, right? Like El Chapo will summon all the gangs in there. Nicolas Maduro is like the new guy in town, so everybody's always posing with him for selfies so he can create a distraction. Samuel Bankman-Fried will be like, I just hacked the mainframe. And then Luigi will be like, I just made a gun from toilet paper. And then they're like, we just need to get through the vents, but there's too much friction. Then Didi will come out like, I got the oil. moral of the story is all you need is love and lubrication. So.
It's going to be like the escape of Alcatraz.
Yeah. Yep. I should have said it like that. It's going to be like the escape of Alcatraz. Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, you know, they did that shit. What? They're waiting for holiday? Which one? Oh, they're waiting what? Khamenei? Oh, who's Khamenei? Oh, Khomeini. Yeah. Sorry, I forgot we were in America. They're waiting for Khomeini. It's Khomeini. They're waiting for Khomeini, yes. How long will they be waiting? How many days? Thank you, Vegas. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Take care.
These Somalians have taken billions.
Quality Leering Center.
Please sleep.
Are there children here?
Please sleep.
These people are very violent.
My small business just received a federal grant for $1 million. Yeah. It's a Somali daycare. It's based in Minnesota. I'm sorry, I'm trolling. They already gave all the money to Israel. So apparently fraud is running rampant in Minnesota, which is shocking when you see that their governor looks like he always just woke up. Every photo of Tim Walz, he's like, you know, it's like, it looks like you just told him that fraud is happening. He's like, fraud! Yes, Coach Walz, please. Apparently this fraud has been going on for a very long time, which almost makes you think the government knows about it, but nah, they ain't like that. Our government would never be in on fraud. All of this recently erupted because of a video that came out. A 23-year-old YouTuber, Nick, surely still on his mom's healthcare, drove around Sub-Zero, Minnesota in an unmarked SUV with two guys in ski masks wearing all black with cameras and a random guy named Dave, banging on the doors of Somali daycares, yelling, "Where are the children?" Which maybe not a great look in the era of Epstein. The only thing they needed at that point were German accents, like, "Where are the kids?" And so they're going around banging on the doors, okay? Shockingly, the Somali community was not very welcoming to this. I don't know if you know this, the Somali community has just had war waged on it by ICE and the President of the United States. And ICE has basically been all around Minneapolis in two ways specifically, but it's winter. But ICE has been covering Minneapolis and specifically targeting and intimidating the Somali community. So naturally, you see in this video, they're coming off a little guarded. You know? So they go like, "Where's the kids? This is a childcare. Where's the kids?" They're like, we don't want to talk to you." And they would close the door. They're like, "See? Fraud. Has to be fraud because they closed the door on us." It's even more suspicious. You have this kid, Nick Shirley, and listen, as a fellow YouTuber myself, okay, I respect the art of content, and as a comedian, I am also a master of deception, okay? So game recognized game, okay? But this kid, okay, he knew what he was doing. He knew he was going to situations where it was gonna make them look sketchy because he didn't point out on his end of the story that his crew looked very sketchy. So the way he portrayed himself in this video was just, it was him and this guy named David, and they're just going around asking very genuinely, like, "Hey, where are the kids? If this is daycare, why are there not kids here?" But he didn't reveal that he had two masked men with him. Big dudes, and you can see them like later in the footage. I had to watch the whole thing for this research, but later in the footage, like you're like, wait, who are those masked men? And they were with them the whole time. So these guys who literally look like ICE are rolling up to these, you know, Somali businesses and being like, "Where are the kids? This is a daycare, right? Where are the kids?" Was he expecting them to like bring out the kids and line them up in alphabetical order or something? This is Samir, Jamir, Ramir, Amir. Okay, I don't know Somali names, I'm sorry, okay? So Nick Shirley, who's 23 years old, he looks like a kid, is saying, "Hey, I want to put my son Joey in daycare." Like, how old were you when you had Joey? Were you 10? "I just have my little son Joey wants to join this daycare." They're like, "Okay, where's your son?" He's like, "That's none of your business." By the way, where are the kids you have? Like, okay. Like, you're just playing games with these people at this point. And so he's like, yeah, I'm just looking for a daycare for my kid Joey. And they're like, okay, you're definitely ICE, bro. And he's like, no, I'm just looking for a daycare for my kid Joey. They're like, yeah, that's what ICE would say. Like, they were literally here last week and said the exact same thing, except they said Danny. You know what I mean? So this is just reading a little bit weird. In the video, there was a daycare that said Quality Learning Center, but learning was misspelled. It's very ironic, or ironic if you don't use N's, but yeah, it said Quality Learning Center. But in their defense, I think that was a reference to Shakespeare's King Lear. And if you're not familiar with that plot, King Lear was a play where a king divides his kingdom into two and gives it to his two daughters who hate him and banishes the one daughter who loves him, only to find out that was a bad idea. So they try to fight back for the kingdom, and in the end, everybody dies. Sorry, spoiler. But yeah, divided kingdom, in the end, nobody wins. Kind of a great analogy for United States politics, actually. But this video was essentially massive rage bait. The video also doesn't show that some of these businesses were already permanently closed because they're being investigated for fraud or because they have like code violations. Also, he did not reveal that some of the businesses were just not open. You can just check Google Maps and be like, they were not open when he went there. Also, something he definitely does not say in this video is that he was shooting this on a Wednesday during school hours. Most daycares open after school because I don't know if you know this, maybe you should check in with Joey, but kids go to school, okay? It's only very, very young kids who get dropped off for full day daycare. That's not as common as kids who are in school, whether it's kindergarten, elementary, or high school. They come usually around 2 or 3 p.m. In the video, there's even a woman who runs the business. She's like, yeah, the kids will be here at 2 p.m. He's like, oh yeah? Well, we'll already be editing the video by then, so there's no way to confirm that. Also, some of the businesses later revealed, they later did press, and they said, here's literal surveillance footage showing that the kids came later. So basically, the irony is that he's trying to report people for fraud when he literally committed fraud over like a 30-minute video, okay? Now, before I get your liberal claps, let's also acknowledge that there is fraud in the Somali community of Minnesota. This is, in fact, actually a very unfortunate thing that's now being used to stigmatize the group as a whole. But the thing about this is the fraud is already under investigation. In 2021, an organization in Minnesota was caught funneling COVID relief funds, okay? And this organization was called Feeding the Future, which is also what I call when I overeat. This organization was basically stealing COVID relief funds. They said they stole nearly $218 million in COVID relief funds. Yes. So first of all, these people already went to trial, okay? 82 people were indicted. 72 of them were virgins. No, sorry. 72 of them were Somali. Sorry, they could have been virgins. I don't know. But yes, a lot of Somali people were involved in that scandal, but the founder of this organization was a woman named Amy Bach, which, as you can tell, is a very authentic Somali name. I don't know what part of Somalia she's from, but send her Bach, okay? There's this claim circulating that the fraud in Minnesota is amounting to almost $10 billion. But the federal investigator who's looking into this specifically said it could be 10 billion. We won't know until we're finished investigating. We only know it's a few hundred million. Okay? That's like me telling a woman that I'm a billionaire, and then she sees that my net worth is 60K. And she's like, you said you were a billionaire. I could be a billionaire. We just won't know for a few, maybe dozen years. This whole daycare fraud scandal in Minnesota has really highlighted America's lack of critical thinking. You know what I'm saying? Like, racism should not be used as an excuse to deflect from pointing out fraud, and fraud should not be used as an excuse for justifying racism. It's not hard to accuse people in a group without being racist. Like, saying the Somali community is committing fraud, that's racist and inaccurate, okay? Saying some people in the Somali community are committing fraud because Somalis be pirated, that's still racist, but more accurate, okay? It's also really annoying that everyone now is calling them Somalian. It's Somali, okay? Somalian sounds like an alien. It's Somali, like Pop Somali. Pop Somali. See? We're leering. In my opinion, daycare itself is already a scam. Why am I paying for other people's kids? Okay, yes, granted, I do hate kids. That's my personal problem. I'd be equally as upset if I found the kids were being taken care of. So yes, like some of the daycares in Minnesota have actually been committing fraud. They've been collecting money from the government and not actually having kids there. And some of them are even allegedly giving a cut to the parents, which sounds like a great deal, honestly. Honestly, I would have a kid to get a cut of that. But like, really, let's give it up for the government that didn't notice for over 10 years that there was no childs at the child's daycares that they were funding. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't think to check that part? It's in the name, child daycare. Where are the childs? Just like the whole Epstein thing. No one's watching the kids. And people of all races commit fraud. It happens. Yeah, more of us should do fraud. You know what I mean? Really. Fraud is part of the human psychology. Yeah, I learned that from Sigmund Freud. Come on, guys. Come on. I just wrote that one right now. But yes, people are, but they're targeting all their hatred toward the Somali community like they're a fraudulent community, when nobody's pointing out that Trump has already pardoned over 20 people convicted of literal fraud for confirmed billions of dollars. Billions of dollars, okay? And guess what? None of them are Somalian. Now you have people in America like, I don't want my tax dollars going to Somalians. And it's like, dude, like what happened? Remember when we grew up? Every day there was infomercials. Like for $1 a day, you can feed an entire African family. What happened to that spirit, man? So what? Now it's like 10 million inflation. Thanks, Obama. You know what I mean? Like, some are even claiming that some of this money is being funneled into a militant group in Somalia called Al-Shabaab. Not to be mixed up with Al-Kebab, which is a great restaurant. Highly recommend, 5 stars. Al-Shabaab is basically a friend of Al-Qaeda, like our president. And the federal investigator in charge of this entire investigation has already said multiple times there is no evidence that money has gone to Al-Shabaab. Okay? And even if it was, it would be coming from the United States government. So it's basically big terrorists funding little bro terrorists. You know what I mean? I'm kidding. Only one of them bombed Nigeria this Christmas. But the timing of this is all very interesting because it comes after all of Trump's rhetoric about the Somali community being garbage, everybody being hyper aware of what's going on in Minneapolis. And now you have people completely angered, just being like, this whole Somali community in Minnesota is taking money from taxpayers in the United States. And so it's created all this anger nationwide, and the anger has escalated. Like J.D. Vance tweeted this, so you know it's like serious, right? And Trump is also echoing what was shared in this documentary. And so now the government's talking about it. Clearly, there's only one solution. Regime change in Somalia, right? That's got to be the only solution, right? If only there was an opposition government already ready to go to take over the Somali government. What's that? There is one already? But only if there was one that had a similar name to Somalia but was like slightly different. Like not Somalia, but like Somaliland or something like that. Like Candyland, but for Somalia. What's that? There's a Somaliland already? Okay, but if only Somaliland was backed by a fierce military from the West. Oh, what's that? Just last week, Israel was the first to recognize the state of Somaliland? Oh, wow. You guys are always one step ahead, aren't you? You really are our greatest ally. Thank you, Israel. You know what? Give them 10 billion. No, make it 12 billion because baby needs her fighter jets. So great work, Nick Shirley. Can you go to Tel Aviv next to see where our money went? Surely not. You gotta admit, isn't that really generous of Israel to recognize the state of Somaliland with nothing in return? Oh, what's that? Somaliland could take the 2 million Palestinians that Israel is trying to ethnically cleanse from Gaza? Come on, now. But that would cost a lot of money. How much money? 10 billion? Get the fuck out. They're saying it would take $10+ billion to relocate the Palestinians of Gaza to Somaliland. The exact amount of money they're claiming is coming out of Minnesota and going directly to Al Kebab. Is anybody else's conspiracy door going off here? Ask Somali people. If you don't have a Somali friend, make one. Go to Minnesota. They're there, okay? Put your kid into daycare if you need to. If you ask any Somali person what's going on, they'll tell you they're typically not a fan of Somaliland. In fact, most Somalis will tell you they're trying to divide our kingdom. Kind of reminds me of this play called King Lear. But you would only know that if you leered it. So congratulations, you've all been red-pilled now. The only way to opt out is to resume to taking Percocet. Or better yet, pop Somali. Thank you so much, San Francisco. I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Be safe. Take care.
I think we're moving on to the next location.
Land strikes on Venezuela. Horrible people breaking in drugs.
Be happy.
Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves. Did you know that? Venezuela has the world's largest proven oil reserves. If the whole world was LA, Venezuela is Diddy's house. Largest proven oil reserves. Okay? So they got the most oil in the world. And we are interested in overthrowing the current regime there. But it's not even about oil, it's about drugs. The oil happens to be there. Oh my God. What a coincidence. They're like, we're just here for the drugs, man. Oh, you got oil? Oh, shit, what's that? You got oil? Oh, I guess we'll stay a little longer then. You got oil? Oh, shit, dude, I didn't even know you had oil, man. I love oil. Is that good? Oh, that's good, man. That's good stuff. Ooh, that's good. That's so good, man. We started by seizing and bombing the drug boats. The drug boats that we couldn't even prove were drug boats. And now we just seized an oil boat. We just seized an oil boat off the coast of Venezuela. Okay? What happened to the drug boats? Okay? But in our defense, of course, oil is our drug. Okay? Right? We love that shit. Okay? And so they just seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela, and it was done in a very illicit manner. Okay? It was done in a very shady manner, if you will, allegedly. Okay? When you seize a ship, there is protocol. That's kind of weird that you're like, oh, seize my ship politely, please. You're supposed to warn the ship, tell them to remove their cargo first, and then seize it as a political move. I don't know what you would call it. I don't even know why we do this shit. It's just so weird. But you basically seize it as a political move, right? And we did not do that. We just straight took that shit and the cargo. Or we pretended we're like, oh, there's cargo here? Oh, I guess we'll keep it. That's what Trump said. He's like, I guess we'll keep the oil. I guess. There was 2 million barrels of oil on that ship. Equivalent of $150 million. That's not a ship seizing, that's a robbery, bruh. Okay? You wonder why crime is so high in America? Look at our role models, dude. That's not a ship seizing, that's a ship jacking, okay? We straight up took the oil. 150 million barrels, man. And all of us Americans should look at that and be like, that's a crime. That's a crime. That's a crime. Yep. Right? As an American, the only two logical thoughts you can have are, that's a crime, and are you going to share it with me? That's the only logical thought you could have. But you got to have the first one first. Okay? No, of course. We don't want stolen oil, right, guys? We don't want stolen oil? No? No. Okay, good. Well, stop using oil then, because we're kind of stealing it from like everywhere though. But we're already having a hard time affording basic things, right? Like, do you know the price of eggs went up 150% last year? So for every $1 you used to spend on eggs, you now spend $1.50. Yeah. So now when I go buy eggs, I cut 4 out of the carton, try to buy a carton 8. I'm like, can you give me the same price last year? And they're like, no, we don't do that. I'm like, you don't understand inflation? And so I get it. We're all trying to struggle. We're all trying, and you know, the government, meanwhile, they're doing their shady shit. They're trying to accumulate oil, but they're pretending like there's drugs. They claim Venezuela is sending cocaine, which is, first of all, not true. Okay, it's Mexico. Okay. Sorry. Secondly, yeah. Secondly, if you're waging a war on cocaine, you're really disregarding the literal, possibly thousands, possibly even millions of tax-paying cocaine users in the United States, okay? I'm just saying, there's a lot of them out there. You may not know because you haven't busted in the bathroom at the right time, but you'll see it. It's out there. Wall Street is fueled by cocaine, okay? If you remove cocaine, our stock market will crash immediately. Like, you don't even know how many people in this country use cocaine. Okay? But, see? Is it ironic that he's the only one laughing? He's on another level. He's on hyper speed right now. This guy's time travel in his own mind. But that's not even the problem with cocaine. They're claiming that the problem is people are ODing on the cocaine because it's laced with fentanyl. Okay, fine. So then go after the fentanyl, right? And they're saying, well, the fentanyl is coming from Venezuela. No, it's not. It's also coming from Mexico. Sorry, I'm not trying to pick on Mexico here. I'm just going with what I read, okay? The chemicals that make fentanyl come from China, and some also from India. Shout out, okay? Okay, so it mostly comes from China, some comes from India, and then it's cooked in Mexico, okay? Which just sounds like a racist American joke. We get the parts from China on the cheap. India comes through with the tech support. And then the real work is done by Mexicans in the kitchen. I'm not making that joke. This is how fentanyl is made, okay? And then we're the dumb Americans who are like, yum, Fenty, yummy, yummy, yummy. Me likey so much. So we play a role in this shit too. But they're claiming it's fentanyl, and they're claiming that Venezuela is aggressively pushing it when there's no evidence to support that, and they're trying to use words to intimidate us. They're saying, they're narco-terrorists, which, as a Middle Eastern person, I find that offensive, okay? Because that's what you used to call us. You can't just give away our slur. You know what I mean? If they're narco-terrorists, am I just an original terrorist? Like, what? Am I a standard terrorist 1.0? Am I an OT? Narco-terrorists. You can just put a word in front of terrorists because it's a different race of people. Are Asians math terrorists? That's not cool. And of course, white people, domestic terrorists, right? That's what it is. That's what it is. They want the oil. They're pretending like they don't want the oil. It's so specific because they want the oil in the exact way they want the oil, all right? Maduro is now running Venezuela, and he's even offered us some oil, but not all of it, and we don't like that. Right? So they want to remove him. They want to put in our puppet, Nobel Peace kind of winner thingy person. They want to put her in and replace Maduro. And Maduro, you know, maybe he didn't win the election fairly, but it's like, neither do we out here, you know? And so we're claiming it's also about democracy. And Maduro, he's trying to work it out. He's like, listen, I'll do anything except step down. And we're like, okay, we hear that. And we'll do anything except not let you step down. And so we're kind of at like a gridlock, and you know, they're pretending it's about the drugs, but it's about the oil, and they're just acting like they can just go to a country and just take it over. This is the problem with calling the United States America, right? We see other places in the world that also have America in the title, and we're like, oh, that's ours, I think. No, they're like, oh, that's just South America, right? That's us. All we have to do is cross the Gulf of America to get to the south part of America. So shady, man. The United States really is the Diddy of the world. You know what I mean? We like to control everybody. Sure, we help some countries, but we also molest them. Some countries we hate so much that we have them taken out, pretend like we didn't do it. We're addicted to oil. And our biggest enemy, inflation, which right now is 50 cents. And yes, 50 cents is not a lot of dollars to our empire, so let's just say it's regime change.
The Somali Roundup has begun in Minnesota.
Somalia, their country stinks. We're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage.
Trump called the Somali people garbage? Call me old-fashioned, but what happened to subtle racism, you know? The good old days of dog whistling. Trump said, their country's no good, their country stinks, and I disagree. I think Minneapolis is awesome, okay? And Trump's just sitting there, he's just sitting there at his desk, he'd be like, all these Somalis, they just complain. All they do is complain. They don't do their job, they just complain. They're complaining all day, not doing their job. I don't want to work right now. Don't come, they just complain. They're not doing their job. I don't know more questions. They're not doing their job. They just complain. It's like, what are you doing right now, motherfucker? You're complaining and not doing your job. A little bit of history. The majority of the Somali immigrants came here during the Civil War in the 90s, okay? Why did they come here? Because there was a horrible civil war going on that the CIA claims it didn't start, right? But the CIA definitely took responsibility for making it worse. They were funding warlords to try and overthrow the government and stir up more chaos than there already was, which led there to be more people who needed to leave. And so the United States government said, fine, we'll take you in. We don't want anything in return. Yeah, right, okay? Because whenever we take in refugees from other countries, we always get something in return. And so what do you have now? You have military bases in Somalia. There are now 500 to 700 American troops in Somalia. Why would you be there if it's a garbage country? No, it's because you want a foothold of imperialism in Africa. Somalia is worth gold to you. And you're telling us there's nothing in Somalia? That's garbage, okay? That's garbage, okay? Also, don't call people from Minneapolis garbage, okay? That is offensive, all right? That is offensive. We all know Minneapolis recycles and composts as well, okay? We sort our waste. So sort your thoughts before you open your mouth. And now you got people all across the internet saying, what do Somali Americans do for America? What do they do for America? It's like, have you heard of Somali food? Have you heard of Somali food? It's some of the best food you'll ever have, okay? And guess what? It's better than Denny's. What do Somali people do? They're in Congress, bruh. They're in Congress. They work jobs all across America, but mostly in Minneapolis, okay? And then people saying, what do the Somali people do? What do the Somali people do? How about an entire people moving from a country with average temperature 90 to a city with average temperature negative 1,000? That is the highest accomplishment of human adaptation we've ever seen. Literally, these people moved from somewhere hot to one of the coldest places imaginable. Somalis, say what you will, they have thick skin, okay? They have thick skin. So bring it, okay? Because guess what? They're already prepared for ice. What's that? What'd you say? The promised land. Minnesota is the promised land for Somali people. Yeah. Listen, I don't know why. I don't know why you chose this land. Like, it's a very weird choice, you know what I mean? Like, of all the racism towards Somali people, the one thing that should be saying is like, what motherfuckers choose Minnesota? You know what I mean? Like, are they mentally okay?
It was promised.
It was promised to them. Did they say that? 2,000 years ago, 3,000. Listen, I'll tell you what. If Minnesota's promised to anybody, you don't need it. That's a promise. That's a promise where you're just like, nah, I'm good.
A forgotten promise.
A forgotten promise. That's a promise you forget about. That's a forgotten promise. There is a story that came out last week that Kash Patel, the day after Charlie Kirk was killed, he flew to Utah and refused to disembark from the plane because he didn't have his FBI jacket. Apparently, he left it in Valhalla. He was being like a princess. He's like, I'm not leaving without my FBI jacket. And they're like, we can't find one. He's like, why can't you find one? There's got to be an FBI jacket. Because you're a medium and nobody here is a medium. I'm sorry. So apparently there's no medium-sized FBI in Utah. Like, that's what we learned about this situation. He literally made them wait like for hours before he got, because they couldn't find one. And our tax dollars pay for those planes. So like this whole, episode was funded by us. And they're just like, come on, Cash, we need you outside. He's not like, no, cash me inside, And he's just standing there. It's so weird that you like that one and not all the other shit that I've been doing today. You guys are a weird, fucked up bunch, aren't you? Cash me inside was the one you liked? Jesus Christ. Is this what happens when you make a show at 6 p.m.? Is it like people just like, workday, still inside brain. Scroll. Cash me inside. How about that? Cash me inside. Would not have expected you guys to be a cash me outside crowd. Pete Hegseth's about to be charged for war crimes. Yeah. Who would have thought a Fox News host is not the best for high-level military strategy? Pete Hegseth, who looks and sounds like the lead of a Christian death metal band, has been bombing boats in Venezuela. What have you been doing with your holidays? And he's been using what's called the double tap strategy, which is not when you go like this on IG and accidentally like a photo. It's when you bomb a site and then you bomb it again, okay? And, which I've done this at many comedy clubs, obviously, but apparently it's frowned upon, it's a war crime, and Pete loves it, okay? He loves the double tap. This sicko probably does the triple tap, or as he calls it, a three-peat. Okay, I only know this because I'm on his group chat. That's the only reason I know this. He added me in February. I'm not sure if he still is aware that I'm on, but they claim there's drugs on these boats, okay? But even if it's something that looks like drugs, you can't be sure until you test it on your gums, right? We all know the gum rule, okay? It's... okay? If there's not drugs on those boats, this is a war crime, okay? And if there are drugs on those boats, still a war crime. Still a war crime. Drug dealers actually have rights too. Shout out to mine. His name is Dave. Hopefully that you hook it up after this, Dave. Killing drug dealers without a fair trial is not only a war crime, but it's also a vibe kill, okay? Okay. And when confronted about this, Hegseth was like, what do you want me to do, man? It's the fog of war. It's the fog of war, man. Things got foggy, It's like, bro, you're just pressing buttons. Like, is it really? Like, you're not the head of military just so you can blame brain fog. You know what I mean? Is that war crimes is just when war gets a little foggy? Is that what it is? How are we equating crimes against humanity with condensation? No, we the people do not want fog of war, okay? We want morning dew process, all right? But yeah, I mean, I'm not, obviously, I'm not a military general, okay? But like, if you're gonna bomb the boats, which you shouldn't be doing in the first place, bomb the cargo and then pull them up out of the water for trial, okay? But obviously, Pete has shown us that he's weird about doing pull-ups. This is not the first time Pete has broken rules of engagement. He has a history of breaking the rules of engagement and a history of dishonesty, which is really disappointing for a Fox News alum. It's just sad. It's just sad. You'd think he'd be better with boats because he was an anchor. Pete Hegseth is from Minneapolis. That's your boy. That's where? Forest Lake. How far is that? Can I get there within an hour?
45 minutes.
All right, he's from here, guys. That's your boy. That's your boy. Hegseth is your boy. Okay. Okay, you know what? Somebody take me to Forest Lake right now. Yes, someone go there. I'm gonna go there and piss on their city sign, and then I'm gonna go back and do it again. It's a double tap. There's a lot going on in Minneapolis right now, right? Like, you guys are like national headlines. You have the Somali thing with Trump, but what else? There's some other stuff too. ICE. So ICE is here.
Yeah. Everywhere.
They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And want to come on stage right now? Come on, welcome to the stage. Guy who didn't have a job last year. So they're everywhere, huh? Like at the grocery stores and shit. And they're at Target. You saw one at Target? Yes. Shit. Are they schools and malls? Are they at the mall? They're at the Somali mall. Oh, you guys have a Somali mall. If you guys want to troll the president hard, change the Somali mall's name to Mall of America. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Trust me. Trust me, bro. Just do it. Change the Mall of America to the Somali. Oh my God. I could be ICE, right? So you guys are like, well, because you're now like very suspicious, like this guy's not from around here, you know? I think I saw him at Target earlier.
We're boycotting.
You're boycotting Target? Because Target is allowing ICE to...
They dropped their DEI initiative.
Oh, Target dropped their DEI initiative after the election nationally. Here's how this shows you I don't shop at Target. Okay, things are going well. I'm doing Walmart over here. That's actually really sad because I used to love Target. I used to love Target, and you know, I'm wearing, yeah. Well, I was gonna make that joke, but I think it's red polos, so let's be. Or maybe here in this cold country, yeah, you guys have, everybody, Target has their hoodies. Okay. It's any red thing. So basically, you just put on a red thing and now you work at Target. Yeah, that's why they have so much in common with ICE. It's the same fashion. Like, they don't have uniforms, right? They just go on there and they have Cash Patel stitch on the ICE on the back. So Target, they dropped their DEI policy. And so now, have you been to it? I mean, so we're boycotting, but like, have we gone in to check that they're all white or what? Because there's only 2 cashiers? Oh, that's right, because it's all automated now. So they're like, no DEI except robots. They're like, no, we...
Spark joy like it used to.
Target doesn't spark joy like it used to? I agree with you on that. Although I 100%, like, I'm on the same exact vibe, but like, the way you said it just made me realize like how sad our lives are that we used to be in a position where Target sparked joy, because it did. I really did like going in there and being like, dude, $10 for a shirt? Oh my God, I miss those days. Of course, they're upping their prices because getting rid of DEI is a little pricey. If you know what I mean, you gotta pay the whites the extra. Or, sorry, the robots. The robots.
It's the tariffs in their corporation. They're doing what corporations do. They pissed off the right, and now they're pissing off the left. And that's basically what happened.
And can I also acknowledge you work at Target too, because you're wearing red. So yeah, so we're both, you're Target Holiday Edition. I'm just like casual November Target.
You need to go to the Home Depot.
You need to go to the Home Depot?
Go to Home Depot, buy some fucking ice scrapers, and return the ice scrapers.
Ice scrapers? Is this irony right here? Is this
They protested, they went into Home Depot because Home Depot's allowing ice to come in and
yeah.
feed people.
Right.
That protesters came in and bought a bunch of 17-cent ice scrapers.
Yeah.
And just made a ruckus in the store, and then returned them.
Well, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm a foreign California boy. What exactly is an ice scraper? Because stop. Be tolerant, you assholes. You're not progressive. You're not progressive. You're not progressive. Not all of us were born with an ice scraper in our hands, okay? Stop it. I don't know. Cashier outside, yeah. Yes. You guys, You guys are so not welcoming.
Minnesota nice.
Minnesota what? Oh, that's called Minnesota Nice? There's a name for it? Oh, no. It's called, what, Minnesota Nice is defined as what, like snarkiness? Passive aggressive. Minnesota Nice. Well, good for you. He doesn't know what an ice scraper is. He doesn't know what. What's that?
Ice scrapers are for your cars.
Right. Okay. That's what I assume. That's what I assume. But you said they're in there causing a ruckus because when I rent a car here, it comes with usually 2 instruments. Okay. One of them is the brush. Okay. That's not a scraper. I would not define that as a scraper. And then there's the one that looks like a spatula. That's an ice scraper?
The ice scraper like breaks up all the ice on your windshield, and then the brush you can like get away everything.
Right, I get it. The brush is the number 2, the scraper's the number 1, right? And on really tough days, a little hot water. I get it. I get it. I'm not that dumb. Okay? But it's like a spatula. It's so flimsy. It's hard plastic, right? It's like really hard plastic, okay? And then you use it to wedge in there and kind of break the ice a little bit. But it's not scraping it. Like, scraping is, there's got to be like more tension.
You scrape the window. You give it to your child when they're born.
We're just going to fundamentally disagree on this. You just said you give it to your child when they're born? What the fuck? You give them an ice scraper? That's what you do in Minnesota? A child is born. So let me guess, you birth them in the snow, and then you hand them an ice scraper and be like, we'll see you back at the house. And the baby's like, wah, it's such a cruel world. Like, it's called Minnesota Nice, bitch. Man. Well, now I understand how to do better in a winter crowd in Minnesota. I literally I'm gonna bring my ice scraper and be like, when I was born, my mom handed it and she said, for difficult situations, you gotta scrape the ice. And so at Home Depot, people went and they bought a bunch of ice scrapers and they were making a ruckus. Who thought of this? I would like to credit the person. This is a very, what's that?
It's a passive aggressive.
It's a very Minnesota Nice. I would call it the Minnesota Nice scraper, okay? Thank you. You may cash me outside later. What is your leader doing about the ice situation?
They're talking the talk.
They're talking. They're still talking.
So Boyd Mayor just banned ICE from using any like federal parks or buildings.
Okay.
Or parking lots.
Okay, that's good. So banned from federal parking lots.
Yeah.
So start from the parking lot. Start from the parking lot. And okay, so parking lots and federal buildings. So that's like 1% of the city. All right. Okay. And that's it. Because I'm gonna go to Home Depot after this, and I'm gonna buy 10 ice scrapers, and I'm gonna go return them immediately. And they're gonna be like, "Why'd you do that?" I'm like, "I'm late for the protest." And then what I would do is I would get anybody who's undocumented, who's concerned about being taken by ICE. I would ask them, invite them to join with, and head on down to a federal building. So they all hang out at the federal building, or like right to where ICE can come up to. They're like in the building, and then there's like the parking lot outside, which is like the safe zone. And then you lure an ICE, well, all of ICE is coming, they're all coming to get, and then you come, and then the immigrants are just like, catch me outside. New Hope. Did you have a good time tonight? You're making national news. People are talking about you. Maybe not for the right reasons, but keep that the fuck up, dude. Keep that the fuck up. We got our eyes on you, and I'll keep coming back and always be speaking on your behalf wherever the fuck I go. So I love you guys, New Hope. I'll see you next time. Thank you so much.
Catch me outside. How about that?
Catch you outside? What does that mean?